Hey, welcome to the Huddle Review here exclusively on the chain. This is Jeff. Today we are going to dig in a little bit into Tether, the court case against Tether, and then also there was a statement that came out in this one article that said that the FinCEN rules on cryptocurrency is actually unconstitutional. So we want to touch on that a little bit. I don't know if the color is off or something. I couldn't get the settings exactly right, but hey, you know what? That's how it goes. We're still going to kick it off. Let's go.
And now, the Huddle Review with Jeff on the chain.
All right, so we're back and we're going to dig in a little bit into what we came here to talk about, which was Tether. So before we get into that, I thought it would be interesting. So we can get into this court case with Tether. And as we dig into it, we're going to look at the New York Attorney General. What type of functionality do they have? How is it that they have so much power to really go after and oversee the cryptocurrency space and really dig in? What's giving them jurisdiction to do that? We're going to get into that. But first, this whole thing really starts off back in about like 2019 approximately. But if we go back, there was this great article that came out just like 2 weeks ago, and it came from the Bitfinex CTO had made a statement. Bitfinex CTO said that Tether is registered and regulated under FinCEN, and that the USDT is not the next target of the US SEC. And why is there so much concern about the US SEC? Well, in fact, the SEC has been going after Ripple. And the fact that the SEC is going after Ripple, there's a lot of concern that, well, many other digital assets, many other cryptocurrencies in this space could also be subject to an SEC case against them. So now, as we're looking at Tether, yes, there's a possibility that the SEC could go after Tether. Well, we're starting to see that, but really there's a lot of other things that were happening jurisdictionally that, I kind of stumble on here, and I said, you know what, this is actually pretty interesting. And number one was that the New York Attorney General has broad investigative powers into the cryptocurrency industry. And I said, wow, how is this possible that they would have this kind of power? And so that's where, I find it interesting. There is an act that is actually from approximately 1921 that issued this ruling. And so that's, so let me see if I can pull that up here. Let me see here. Hang on one second. Actually, while I'm making the video, I'm realizing that our viewable area, the viewable content on what I was sharing is actually not so visible as planned. So anyhow, so I'm making this minor adjustment while we're talking. So there's an act called the Martin Act in 1921. And so let's pull this up. Oh, here it is. There it is. Okay, we got it here. All right, great. So this was actually, we have the New York Appellate Court confirms that the Attorney General's broad investigative powers into the cryptocurrency industry. So this is important as we move forward to see exactly what they're able to do. So here it says, according to the First Department's decision. Now, if you go back a couple years, so go back 2 years ago, and this is what they're going to reference, that Tether Holdings, and let me, right here, March 2019, Tether Holdings had represented that every Tether is backed by $1 and any holder of Tether may redeem it for $1. So what came out was that actually Tether didn't have $1, for every Tether that was issued the way they should have had. So they actually issued this following statement after this March 4th, 2019. They actually changed their website on it to indicate what they have or what they don't have. So here it said Tether Holdings changed its representation. Let me get rid of this. I think it might be hard to see it. But Tether Holdings changed its representation on its website to state that while every Tether is still valued at $1, Tether is backed is backed by Tether Holdings reserves, which include unspecified currency, cash equivalents, and other assets and receivables from loans made by Tether Holdings to third parties. So in fact, they no longer had the one for one. Now they're, correlating that it actually is connected to multiple assets that they may be holding. So then I move forward and I say, okay, this is going to be interesting. Let's go to what we could find here. There was an article from August. It said, First departure upholds New York Attorney General's authority to investigate virtual currency under the Martin Act. And we say, what in the world is the Martin Act? So you have to go to Wikipedia. Now, the Martin Act, this is what I was mentioning before, was passed in 1921. And this is a New York anti-fraud law, widely considered to be the most severe blue sky law in the country. And then you go, what in the world is the blue sky law? So then you go to Wikipedia again, and you look here. A blue sky law is a state law in the United States that regulates the offering and sale of securities ostensibly to protect the public from fraud. Now you have to wonder, what is it exactly that we're being protected from? Do we actually have to be protected from fraud by the SEC or the Attorney General of New York, or can the public make their own decisions, their own determination on what they want to invest in or what they don't want to invest in? Now, one of the things that we've learned from the Howey test as it applied to other digital assets, and right now you have the case SEC v. Ripple, and you look at it and construct, does it meet the Howey test to be deemed a security or not? In this case, with the Tether case, we're looking to see whether or not the Attorney General of New York actually has the investigative authority to pursue the cryptocurrencies as aggressively as, let's say, an SEC. So we have the SEC v. Ripple. Here you have the Attorney General of New York, getting a little bit more detailed. So let's take a look. So we get the blue sky, we get the Martin Act. So here it says the First Department upholds New York Attorney General's authority to investigate virtual currency under the Martin Act. And now we've read, the compelling information about Tether, what it did before, what it's doing now. And here it says, so I want to go straight down into the decision because this is where it becomes interesting to see exactly what was the outcome. Now this was already a little bit, this is from August 20th. Commentary. Now it started back in 2018, but here this was a decision. So nevertheless, the court considered respondents' personal and subject matter jurisdiction arguments on the merits and held that. Now we want to know what their determination was. Tether is a commodity under the Martin Act. The First Department held that the Martin Act's definition of commodities was broad enough to encompass virtual currencies like Tether. Because commodities include any foreign currency, any other good, article, or material. On that basis, the First Department held that the New York Attorney General's documentary and other requests related to Tether fell squarely within the subject matter jurisdiction of the New York Attorney General's investigative authority. And this was the whole point. Can they and did they have the authority to investigate Tether? So right now it says the Attorney General's investigation of iFinex is still underway. No charges have been brought to date. So you have Bitfinex, you have iFinex, you have Tether, you have all these different investigations that are ongoing within these digital assets, within the digital crypto space. Now you have SEC v. Ripple, and then you have the NYAGs going after Tether. Do they have jurisdiction under the Martin Act? And there's going to be more and more and more. We saw the SEC v. Kick. So now the outcomes of the cases are also very determinative of where this space is going, the crypto space. And we're talking about U.S. jurisdiction, because in other parts of the world, just like we covered on our live stream tonight, we see that Japan actually ruled that XRP is not a security. Whereas here in the U.S., we have the SEC v. Ripple because the SEC is claiming that Ripple is a security. So it can get very confusing based on the fact that the jurisdictions of the crypto space are global in nature and aren't just specified and specific in the U.S. market. Now, the U.S. market, the U.S. case will be relevant only to the U.S. market unless other countries are also then taking a cue from and precedent from anything that comes out of the U.S. market. A lot of times the U.S. has been a trendsetter with the high tech, with the fintech, but now you're seeing an expansion globally of fintech, Bitcoin, and all the other digital assets. So you have Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum, Litecoin, you have it. It's a global phenomenon. It's not just specific for the U.S. So based on that, then jurisdiction is global. And one of the things that we talked about on our live stream tonight that we already passed is that Christine Lagarde was referencing the fact that Bitcoin is very speculative, but Bitcoin, from her perspective, needed global regulation. Now, is she referring to Bitcoin as Bitcoin, or is it the general Bitcoin covering all of the cryptocurrency space? Now, I would have to say that she's probably referencing the entire cryptocurrency space and not just Bitcoin. Is Bitcoin becoming synonymous then with all digital assets, similar to a Kleenex or a tissue? Is that what's happening? Possible, very possible, as it gets into the vernacular of the people, whether it's government or everyday citizens, let's say. So it's important that we look, engage, and see the direction that these different court cases are going. I think it's outstanding. It's really interesting to dig into it because at the end of the day, again, this is a global thing. It's a global decision that we have to see because players are all over the world, hence global. So anyhow, I appreciate that you guys were here spending a little bit of time on our video today. Make sure you hit that subscribe button below. And if you didn't realize, we have another channel. That's where the live streams are. So click down, check out the description, find the other channel. You can find it on the Chain Live. And we'll see you over there because we're streaming Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, every night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, except for Saturday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I look forward to seeing you over there, and make sure you hit the thumbs up on the way out. This is Jeff. You're here on the Hodl Review exclusively on The Chain. Let's get out of here.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.